Good evening.
Okay. Yeah, good
Yeah, good
evening.
evening. Yeah.
Yeah, good evening. So this session is on recording now, and I want to officially welcome all of you to this session. So, like I said earlier, we're going to start with trying to understand what data is in the context of AI. Yeah, we are going to learn what is data, types of data, how to uh, get the kind of data we're going to use to train AI, and the quality of data that AI needs. By the time we finish, then we should be comfortable to understand training AI, the quality of data needed. So that is the foundation we need. And this bootcamp is going to really expose us to a lot of things, the way we are planning it. So a lot of tools we are going to learn. Yeah. And we believe to have serious breakthrough. That is the goal. Serious, when I mean serious breakthrough, because one thing I'll find out is our conventional job market is dried up because of AI. There's a job, like there's an environment I'm working on currently, open AI training environment. I've been working on that since a few days ago. And they find out there's a lot of people there already, making a lot of money, where they pay people $50 an hour. Small boys and girls are there making money. And so many of us are still there on the LinkedIn, uh, complaining that I'll be sending CVs. So I just want to let you know that, yeah, we are making a lot of discoveries that are going to help us. All right, let's dive in. We have enough people here ready to get started. I will share my screen. It's going to be a long class. So it's not just going to be uh, back class, you know. Yeah. So tighten your seatbelt and let's begin. Mm, yeah. Okay. So the lesson for today is the module we are starting. This is our first module. The last time was induction. This is our first module, our first official lesson for this boot camp, and is data annotation and AI evaluation. So that is a module, and the lesson for tonight is going to be introduction to AI training data. So we need to understand the training data, the data we use for training. If I put it the other way, that is what we're going to try to understand. Yeah. How to collect data, how data is collected, prepared, labeled, validated, and evaluated for training and improving artificial intelligence and machine learning system. That is what we are going to understand. So we're going to look at what the AI training data is, where the training data comes from, because the training data comes from different sources. At times, some of the data we use, we generate it. If some of the data we use are originally human data, not generated by any system. Well, these are things we need to understand as well. How data sets are organized, why data are separated into training, validation, and tests. The difference between structured and unstructured data, human-generated and synthetic data, how data is prepared, why quality directly affect AI performance. So, like we say, this module is data annotation. So everything is going to be data this, data that, and every data is not data analysis, or there is data for training AI. So that is data annotation, data labeling, and classification. So yeah, that is what we are going to look into. The lesson overview: artificial intelligence does not learn in the way humans learn. The way we teach in the classroom, the way I'm teaching now, the way you are learning is not the way AI learn. Their learning pattern is different. Example, if we want an AI system to recognize whether a container has a dog or a cat, the system may need to learn from examples of the image that have already been identified. So if we need to let AI know, we need to label the image. We use labeling. Like, let's say image 1 is cat, you label it cat. Image 2, dog. Image 3, dog. Image 4, cat. We cannot go and just send image and say, yes, AI will recognize it and understand it. It has to be labeled. Images are the data. The word cat and dogs are the label. So we cannot send anything, any training material, without having it labeled. Just like if you go to supermarket, all the product there, the only way we understand the product is through labeling. That is the way AI recognizes images. Data images, video images, is through labeling. Just like I'm talking you through about it, you are hearing, you learn, but their own is based on the tag. Once they know, they see the tag, next time they recognize that such image carries this kind of tag, and that's where AI learn. So, what is training data? Training data. Training data is the collection of examples used to help machine learning or AI model learn pattern, relationship, behavior, or representation from data. So, training data can be text, it can be images, it can be audio, it can be video, it can be numbers, it can be documents, it can be conversation, transaction, sensor reading, computer code, labeled examples, and human preferences. All these can be the kind of data we use for training. But the only thing is that all these data, before we start using them for training AI, they need to be labeled. That is the only way we can use them. We can't just use them. So most of the thing, most of us, what we are going to be doing as data annotators, we have a lot of tools, which at the end of the session, we are going to do a hands-on. There's a lot of tools we are going to be using to label data. If they employ you now as a data annotator, your own job is going to be labeling data using the tool. They give you, if they give you 100 images and ask you to label them, yeah, making sure the data set. What we are doing is preparing the data for training. At that point, you are not training, is preparing the data for training. Some people who are going to be evaluators. After annotation, some people do evaluate the data for training. Then some people review. We have validators, those who validate, making sure that the data is yet ready for action. So, but these are all the kind of data we are going to use for training. All these data, as long as we prepare them, label them, make sure that the quality of these data are okay, then we can start using them. Why is it important we label all this data, or we prepare them? Let's use the word prepare them. There's so many of these data are not structured data. We have structured data and unstructured data. Structured data are those data we already have on table, well organized, like sales data. But so many of these data we are going to be using are not structured. Like some of the data we post on social media, videos, images, they are not structured. You cannot say what it is until those data, they are classified. Examples of training data. These are examples of training data. You can have emails, data set from emails. So this kind of data, we need to prepare them. Most of them are not structured. A data set may contain thousands of emails. Each might have labels. Labels like, you see this particular email, you see the label already, it is labeled spam. Then you see another email is labeled non-spam. So these are labeled. With this, AI can easily understand emails that are spam and emails that are not spam. If you go to your Gmail account, you see that there are some emails that are spam. There are some emails that are not spam. All of them are emails, but we have categorized, we have already categorized them. So there is the way we are going to categorize and label them before we start using them for training. The model learn pattern from common memories. Yeah, please, Perpetua, you can put yourself on mute.
Oh, so sorry.
Another example is sentiment analysis. Sentiment analysis, like customer sentiment. This is customer sentiment based on customer reviews. You see this sentiment, you look at excellent service is a positive sentiment. This is the label here, positive, negative, neutral. We've labeled all these sentiments captured here. Delivery was extremely late. This is negative. It was okay. It was okay. You can't place it, you know, whether it's good or bad, just okay. When somebody say, after saying everything you want to do this, the person just tell you, okay. You might want to ask, what do you mean by okay? Are you happy or not happy? So okay is neutral. So this is what the AI need, this kind of labeling. You see this email labeling, you see this sentiment, customer review, sentiment analysis, see the label. Okay, now we have image labeling. So these are different data. I'm just giving you examples of different data we can use for training. All these data we are seeing here, like this particular one, they are ready for use. These two, they are ready because see, they already have labels, they already have tags. You see another one here, image recognition. So image may be labeled according to what they contain. So you see car image, we label it car. Bicycle image, we label it bicycle. Bus image, we label it bus. So this will help AI to recognize that these are different cars. When you see this bus image, you know that this is how a bus looks, and this is how a bicycle looks, and this is how a car looks. All of them can be vehicle, but now we're trying to classify. With this, AI will quickly recognize all this next time. AI assistant. Data may include examples such as user question. How do I reset my password? Preferred response. A clear, accurate password reset instruction. A large number of high quality examples can help AI in their responses. So all these are the way we are going to be labeling various activities, various data sets that we are going to be using for training. There is no other way. And this is what we call data annotation. Why does AI need data? Of course, there is no AI without data. Data is like their food, the way we eat food. That is the way AI consume data. A machine learning system cannot simply be told, understand everything. Data provide the example from which the model learn. A system use data to learn language pattern, visual pattern, customer behavior, just like when we do the sentiment analysis, customer sentiment. And so that's through customer behavior, relationship, categories, correlationship between two variables, typical responses, anomalies, preferences, patterns of successful and unsuccessful outcomes. Something is successful, something is not successful. So these are the way AI learns to work. You cannot just tell AI you send images, no label, and tell AI. They are not, they are data, but they are not organized. They are not labeled. So this is the way AI work. That's the way they are built to operate. So as long as we keep feeding them with quality data sets, they will continue to do better. When AI started, this issue of AI, when we started, it wasn't as good as it used to be these days. Using image, for instance, when I tried to, I gave AI my image to generate the image back. Those days, it was very difficult for ChatGPT to do that. He initially said he cannot do it. Over time, he did it, but it wasn't perfect. But lately, if he prints my image, you are going to doubt which one is the original one. Is because we continue to feed AI with quality data. It continue to learn. It's like, that's why we call it artificial intelligence. It's just like a baby. The first speech of a baby, you might not understand what the baby is saying. You continue to, maybe the way we talk, we think all these children, you think what we are doing, they are not seeing us. You think what we are saying, they are not hearing it. But actually, they are learning from what we say. That's how they speak Hausa, Yoruba, because they learn from us. You continue to speak Hausa for them, over time, they start speaking Hausa. If you continue to speak Chinese for them, over time, they start speaking Chinese. And over time, they will even master Chinese and even become, you can say, a Nigerian child mastering Chinese language and even start speaking it. And even start teaching that language. It's because they continue learning, they continue mastering it. That is the way this AI, well, that's why we call it artificial intelligence. So that is the way we continue to feed them. And that is because it's a learning program and human activity is going to be forever. A lot of things we are doing today, we might stop doing it tomorrow. So some of the things we have trained AI to do might no longer be relevant for us, because the main purpose of training AI is to help us to live our daily lives. So some of the things that are no longer relevant, we train AI. Then we have to continue to train AI on the latest activities of us, human activities. For instance, now, if we decided that as we are now, petroleum vehicle here in UK is petroleum and gas is gradually phasing out. we've trained AI before on petroleum vehicle and gas. AI have mastered petroleum vehicle and gas vehicle. And over time, we're moving away. It's now electric cars, solar cars, and there are so we have to teach AI about these ones. As we're developing in the electric cars, modernization, second model and third model and other, we continue to feed AI. And that's why this career, AI career, is going to be forever. As long as we live, as long as AI technology live, we continue to update AI. And because these companies, they are really making a lot of money, they are going to be maintaining their product, which is AI, to serve us better. So, this simple analogy will help us to consider how a child learns to recognize a dog. A parent might show the child several dogs and say, dog. After seeing enough example, the child begins to recognize other dogs, even when they are different colors, breed, and size. Machine learning uses a conceptually similar principle, just like I said. The way children learn, that's how AI learn. There is no difference. So I think this analogy is the child and AI. That is the best analogy for us to understand how this AI, they work. There's no other way to explain it better. So because of pattern, they've already memorized the pattern. So if the pattern breaks, then we have to go and update AI. This pattern is no longer working. The best cars is no longer, because my train AI to understand that the best vehicle is petrol vehicle. So now the pattern is breaking that petrol is no longer the best vehicle. That's now electric cars. We need to go and update AI. So that next time if ask AI what is the best, AI will not tell you that is petrol, that is now electric cars. So data is the foundation of AI. And this is the life cycle, simple life cycle. From data, we training, from training to model, from model to prediction, from prediction to generation. Data here, we use data to train. Yeah, we collect data, we use this data to train the model. After training the model, then the model can now predict. And once the model can predict very well, you ask model, the model will generate it. That is what you are doing here. We use data to train large language model like OpenAI. And after training them, they can predict. And then once we use ChatGPT to prompt them, well, they are going to generate wonderful outcome for us. For supervised learning, raw data, that's raw data, annotation, labeled. Once we label it, it's now become a data, it's no longer a raw data. So that is how we train AI. Mind you, the main purpose of this particular model is training AI and evaluating AI. I don't want us to think anything outside how ChatGPT work. That is a different, this one, when we are looking at how ChatGPT work, or That is prompt engineering. So for us to get the best out of it, we should remove our mind from any kind of prompt engineering, any other model outside this. We should remove. We should focus on trying to learn how to train a data. That's the main purpose of this. Yeah. So this is the data life cycle for annotation. This is the raw data. Raw data is data that is not labeled. It's not labeled when we call it raw data. It's not annotated. So after collecting raw data, then we'll start tagging them, giving them name. That is what we mean by labeling. And in this context, giving them name is what we call annotation. So after this is now labeled. It's now labeled data. That we now call it labeled data. Once it's labeled, now we can now use it for training. After training, it's not going to just be that. There's what we call evaluation. So these are two jobs available for us here. You can be a data annotator, those who label, no, 3 jobs, actually 3 jobs. You know, it's 3 jobs here, which I've seen. Some people are just data annotators, they label, they don't train. Then some people use the label data to train. That is trainers, AI trainers. If you search internet, you are going to see AI trainers. If you have good, just as I'm talking, you can search AI trainer, you see AI trainers. You will see AI annotators. Then you will see AI evaluators. So within this data annotation, and we'll have 3 jobs waiting for us to explore once we finish this. So under evaluation, model output, human evaluation, let's call it human evaluation, before we satisfy that, yes, that we have trained AI on a particular data set or a particular product or a particular journey, and confirm. It must be validated that, yes, we can now say AI knows what dogs are like. Somebody needs to evaluate and validate it. There's evaluation and approval that, yes, we've done this and is. So human evaluation, after evaluation, we have feedback. The feedback will determine whether we got it or not. And from there, any other thing is going to be improvement. Mind you, is constant improvement. We cannot say, yes, we've trained AI to master cars. We cannot be enough, because what is involved in automobile is too much. So we cannot say that AI doesn't need any more understanding of vehicle after our training AI last year. We are done with. No, there is constant improvement. Just like I said, we are having updates, version 1, version 2. You know, if you go to even the electric cars, the electric cars of yesterday is no longer electric cars of today. You know, so iPhone of today is no longer the iPhone of tomorrow. So there is need for constant improvement. Anything that happens, we need to quickly go and update AI. AI is not going to use himself to know, to continue to improve. So AI annotation sit very close to the foundation of practical AI development. So, yeah. So do we have any question, brief question, understanding this structure, this life cycle? Okay, let's continue. Then we'll have structured and unstructured data. This is what we do all the time in data analysis for those of us who've been in our data. Now, do you have any data analysts here? Any of us with the data analyst? So, data analyst, are you here? Okay, we don't have any data analysts here. I would have say, let the person just teach us a little. Okay. We have structured and unstructured data. Yeah, in data analysis, it's very difficult to we don't use unstructured data. So we use structured data for our data analysis. So we have structured, unstructured. AI system can work with both data, both structure and unstructured. But we data analysts will struggle to work with unstructured data. Yeah, it's very difficult. Two major categories are structured. Okay, what is structured data? Let's start from structured data. We know what structured data means. Okay, do we know what structure is? What's structure? That something is structured. Structured environment, structured behavior.
I think it's organized.
Good. That's what I'm just trying to hear.
Okay, yes. It's organized.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to hear. Organize, that is structure. Yeah, everybody likes structured environment. If you come to the first time I used London Underground, you know, London Underground was big, more especially if you are traveling to central London. You know, some of them has a lot of underground. You can walk and walk and walk underground, a lot of escalator, a lot of lift, this. But the system is highly structured. You can never, as complex as London Underground, you can never lose your way. You see signages everywhere. They tell you follow this way. Even emergency, you see small arrow running. Everything is highly organized. You can hardly, and that is not enough. You see the structure, underground assistants here and there, waiting for you to raise your hand to ask questions. I was very, very impressed. You know, that is what we mean that something is structured, very, very structured. You don't need to ask so much question. So we have data like that. And when we have a data in a table, it meant to be structured. That we call it structured. We have column, we have row, we have columns, we have field, record. So these are components of a structured data. Looking at this table here, this table is what we call a structured data. We see we have columns. All these are columns. We see ID columns, we see name column, then we see age column, you see city column and purchase column, and then we see rows. So it is very much organized. if you want to talk about name on this data, you can say how many, or list the name, or just call out the names in this table. And somewhere, someone can just say Sarah, Daniel, and Mary. And if you say, tell me the city Sarah belongs to, someone will raise up and say, Sarah lives in London. And if you can say, tell me Mary's purchasing power, somebody can just raise a hand and say 75 pounds. This is because it's structured. Yes, that is what we mean organized. So this data is easy to recognize because every record follows the same structure. Every row here follows the same pattern, everything. So this is the way AI understands this. So examples of structured data, we have spreadsheets. We have spreadsheets. We have database table. These are where we are going to find structured data set in spreadsheet. That is, when we talk about spreadsheet, we talk about Excel, data that we have in Excel. Then we'll have databases. If you go to databases, almost all the web applications we are using, they have databases. We have structured databases. Yeah, we have some of them that are not. And we have sales transaction, banking transaction, CRM record, employee database, products, all these, name them, they are all structured data sets. Yeah, we can equally use this to train AI. Then what is unstructured data? Unstructured data does not naturally follow a fixed table or predefined row and column structure or pattern. It doesn't. It's not in a column, and it's not in a row, and it's not in a table. So example is written document. So we have a lot of powerful data sets that are not in a structured format. Does it mean AI is no longer going to understand them? No. So they include written documents, emails, social media posts, images, audio recording, videos, PDFs, customer conversation, meeting transcription, photographs, and video recording. They are all we call unstructured data sets. Okay, structured versus unstructured data set. Organization. Structured, predefined format. Unstructured, not fixed tabular format. Example of structure is spreadsheet, unstructured image. Another example, database for structure, for unstructured video. Another example, CRM table, unstructured email. Another example, transcription, unstructured video, audio. Easy of traditional analysis, very easy when it comes to structured data, often requires additional processing. Annotation potentials. So when we want to do annotation with some of these, we use categories, we use values and outcome. And for unstructured, we use objects, text, meaning, sentiment, speech. So most of these we label the unstructured data with text, name, or object. Object will label it name, meaning, and so this is how we prepare both data sets for annotation. Why unstructured data is important for modern AI? A large portion of human information exists in unstructured form. Yeah. So that's why it's important to pay attention in this unstructured data sets. And as a matter of fact, some of us are going to be annotators. That is where our job is going to be more needed. Structured data set is already organized. It's not going to, it's organized to some extent because still some structured data are not clean enough, because we can have missing values in a structured data. We can have duplicates, inconsistencies. So, and this is where the data analysts, they have to clean their data set, although it can come in a table, but it's not still good enough for consumption. So you need to clean it, manipulate, reorganize it, and make it clean enough before you can start your analysis. So, but in terms of unstructured data that is not even organized at all, this is why they are paying us to organize this unstructured data. Because like here you say, looking at activities, the amount of structured data and unstructured data, you find out that like all this I'm saying, languages, talking anyhow, AI need to understand all this we are saying, even as I'm talking now. AI understand my speech. AI tend to recognize voices. All these things are not structured data. How does AI understand that this, my voice, is a Nigerian accent? How does AI understand that this voice is from South Africa? This voice is from Ghana, Ghanaian. This is a British accent. Even if you come to Britain, we have English accent, we have Scottish accent. Yes, all these are not structured. AI needs to understand all of them because these are fundamental human life. Where you are going to start seeing structured data mainly at the organizational level, company level. Well, that's what it's assuming sales transaction. But does it mean that only those transactions at those organizational level is what define human living? Most of our activities, as a matter of fact, the number of people who are not working at organized organization, there are so many of us working in the field, you know, doing all sorts of things. So even as I'm farming in my farm, that video, that environment, everything AI need to understand, because AI need to understand everything we do. Yes, because what they are planning is that there is nothing that AI cannot do. That is the plan. I don't know how it's going to work, but it's gradually working. I'm not saying it's possible. I'm not saying it because I see some people who in the Bible who build the Tower of Babel, so wanted to build so that they can touch, they can get to God. I'm not saying that these people cannot build even. I'm not sure, but for the purpose of our learning, the intention is that AI needs to understand almost everything we are doing. And most of the things we are doing are not structured yet. Even in the company level, there's a lot of data that is not structured. That email, we use email every day. We keep sending different emails, but they are not structured. Contract papers, policy documents. We keep writing policy document on this. Email calls, customer calls, photographs. So every day we keep on taking different types of photographs. They are not structured. Reports, different reports, meeting minutes, like we're having meeting now. Support tickets. So there are so many. All this one I listed here at the organizational level. So there are some that are not at the organizational level. If you go to Motor Park, there's a lot of activities going on. And AI need to understand that activities at Oshodi, the life in Oshodi, it might not be structured. No matter the amount of data we capture, how we document the life in Oshodi, AI need to understand it. Some of them are not structured. Street languages, AI need to understand all those things. So, and it's our duty to train AI to understand it. So, you see almost everything now AI is doing. We teach AI what they are doing. So they are not monsters. We teach them what they are doing. So we are powerful in the way. Human brain, we teach them what they are doing. So we can give ourselves that credit as well. Modern AI systems are increasingly designed to work with this type of information. That creates major requirements from data preparation, annotation, classification, extraction, quality control, and evaluation, which I've just explained. So, yeah, all these unstructured data need to be prepared for training AI. And that is what we are coming in to do as we decided to jump into this ship, be ready to go and start, annotating all the languages at Oshodi. All these Agbero, all these their language, if you want, I'll try to, teach AI, find out that, AI can speak, all this our pidgin English, even to a very great extent. We are the people teaching them. A lot of people in Lagos, that's what they are doing. You think OpenAI, they've not reached Nigeria. You think that you see America OpenAI, they have a lot of people. Somebody like you now, after this, they say so many of us are going to get a job. You see them all the time at Motor Park. You see a lot of us, some of these people, you see them, they are carrying a small knapsack at the back. Some of them will carry cameras. You think they are content creators. They'll be snapping. They are working for AI companies. They want to capture that moment at Ojuelegba Park, Ojuelegba Junction, Oshodi, Agege, all those areas. They want the moment. They want to see how those Agboro people, how they are fighting. They want it. Or they want to, AI to understand the real life in Lagos. You see them carrying cameras. Like there's this job where they just contacted me to do. I will go and submit so that I might not have time to do it, but I can contract it to some of my friends here in UK. But it's UK. is not Nigeria. This job is just to go in a supermarket in London. Any supermarket you go there, be taking pictures of products. That's it. You are not doing any other thing. You take all those pictures, you upload it in a drive, and they will pay you. The amount of pictures you took determine how much they pay you. These are what they are using to train AI. So that is it. So now we've been talking about structured, unstructured, and the rest of them. So what is a data set? A data set, we want to call it, we put set. A data set is an organized collection of data used for analysis, machine learning, AI development, or evaluation. Data set may contain 100 examples, 10,000 examples, millions of examples, potentially much larger collection. I will call it a data set. The important point is that the examples are organized for a defined purpose. Okay, let's look at data set example. This table we see here is a data set. So this data set can be used, for training. Say, it can become part of the training data used for teaching models. So now this data will have ID, customer message, category. So we've tried to organize this customer message. Customer messages, when it comes, it was not organized, but we tend to organize them, and it becomes a very structured data now, and it's now quality enough, because this message have categories of account access, refund, payment, account update. So all these messages from customers have been categorized in such a way that this is now a structured data. From unstructured, we've structured this data, and it's now looking this way. These are some of the things we're going to be doing, organizing unstructured data into a structured way that we can use it to train. Training, validation, and testing the data sets. Common mistakes among beginners is to assume that all available data is simply given to the model at once. So, and it's not true. Data sets are separated in 3 groups. The first is training data. Then after the training data, validation, and then test data. If I talked about this earlier, that we need to validate all the data we've prepared for training. After training, after organizing our data set, we don't just use them. It has to be validated. Validation means testing, approval, validation. In so many of us, whatever we do, even in our other areas like business analysts or even project managers, everybody has their own point of validation in everything they do. And that's what we call line management. Whatever you do, you have somebody you are reporting to approve your work or not. No matter how high ranking you are, you must, in one way or the other, you see ministers, they're always going to the Mr. President for validation to approve their work or approve their report or approve their request. So training data must be validated before it can be used. Training data set. Training data set is the portion of data used directly during the model learning process. The model learn pattern from this data. Example is now a training that it has been cleaned, has been validated. It can now be used for training. Suppose there are 10,000 label customers review. The large portion may be allowed for training. The model learn relationship between words and sentiment labels such as positive, negative, and neutral. So once we've trained it, this is the way it learns. It learns from the label. So that label is the key aspect of training a data. That's what I mean by train. Before a data can, it has to be labeled that there is that label. That label, that's what AI is trying to see, to recognize what that data set. So every data set, if after composing or compiling a data set and some of those data is not labeled, it's not a quality data. So many of us as data annotators, we are going to be working, hurrying up. You know why this is very important is that you are going to find yourself very soon, based on my experience, which I even saw today, while we are trying to train some, not review, we are kind of evaluating data sets. So a lot of you annotator, which are going to be labeling, so many of us are going to be making a lot of mistakes. You are rushing because you find yourself there's a lot of jobs out there. The more you label, the more money you make. The more money, the more there is no longer going to be, that's the way this work is. I want you to, even if you are getting a job now as AI, this or that, this is because they are not going to be coming to chase you around to do your job. It's based on what you've done to determine how much you earn. They can give you 500 data to annotate. So the amount you've annotated will determine how much you earn. If you annotate 50 data in a day, that will determine the amount you earn. If you annotate 100 in a day, that will determine the amount you earn. So that means how many data you can label determine. So, but whenever you label and you submit, you label, you submit, you label, you submit. So many of us are going to be rushing to make much money. And there will be a lot of, mistakes, a lot of errors just because we want to make money, and it's going to bring the quality down. So this is where it's important validation. There are going to be validators. Like the instruction, there's a data they flagged off. One of the things I was going through today. And they made, what they are paying there is $50 an hour. So $50 an hour, and you can get and do as many as you can. some of people want to, make even 500 a day, depending on how much, but doing the course of doing that, you might make mistakes. What they said, if they flag some of your work, your contract is going to be violated. They are going to terminate your contract. They are going to remove you. You are not going to work for them again. Because some people are not interested in quality work. They are just interested in making money. So, and that is why it's very, very important in validating data sets. Validation is extremely important. What is validation? The validation data set is a separate portion of data during the model development to evaluate how well the model is performing and supported decision about the model. So, yeah, if the data is not actually supporting AI, or some of these data AI is having hallucination, because there's what we call hallucination. That's what they have to be. That's part of the validation and the evaluation. Some AI, after you use some data to train them, they will start hallucinating, meaning that they might not really understand, they might not predict. Hallucination means they can't predict well, although you have trained them, but they are struggling to predict. It's just like a child. After teaching a child, and the child, in some of us, we call it learning difficulties. In the UK, is a such issue, call it SEND. There are some children with SEND. There are some children with autistic. Some of them have high learning capacity. They learn more than others. Their brain works more than us. Some have low. AI can equally behave that way if they are not trained with good data sets. It means that it depends on the kind of food you give a child. Some children, you find some children, they look malnutritioned because of the kind of food. You see some children, they look very healthy. What is the difference? Some children, they grow well. Some children, they have stunted growth. Some of all these things, the kind of food we give these children. Some of these children that are not fed well, you see them, they don't look healthy. If you give them quality food, they will look healthy. Why I'm using this analogy is that it's the same way, it applies the same way in AI annotation. If we train a data with good data set, the AI will perform better. So the validation, after using a data set, the main purpose here is validation helps AI, to know. We are the validators. We validate, we kind of evaluate whether AI is improving after training AI. So it's important so that because so many of us are going to lose our job, we hard-earned job, because we are rushing, we want to make more money. There are people who are going, their own job is to validate or evaluate, and if they flag it off, you might lose your job. So, and those doing the validation, there's some people who are going to be reviewing the activity, because some of them might not really come out. Some of us are going to get job as evaluators. Some are going to get job as annotators, those who label. Some of us are going to be the one who train. So whichever way, even if you are there as a validator or evaluator, if you don't do quality, any approval you make, at the end of the day, they find out AI is not doing well and you have validated those data sets, they will say, who approved these data sets? You approve this data set. Then you are going to go in for it. You know, these are the things we're talking about. Example is what is happening in Cambridge now. You see a professor, after a professor graduated, this professor was awarded a PhD. And this professor applied for a job in Cambridge. And all of us know what Cambridge, even for you to get admission as a student in Cambridge, you know what it means for you to get admission in Cambridge. It's not easy. So I tried, life example, there are so many courses I tried in Cambridge. Even those days, we don't have AI that help you to write a lot of, I wrote, I gave up. And there's some scholarship I pursued in Cambridge. I tried a lot of things. Just application alone. I said, I'm not cut out for this. And that's how. The point I'm making, if one can study in Cambridge, then if they can scrutinize with students, even try to get admission there, then what more a lecturer, a professor, before you can come in to become a lecturer, before a professor in Cambridge, there should be a lot of scrutiny. And at the end of the day, they find out that you are not performing or something goes wrong. So who are those? The question is now, who are those people who validated this professor? Who approved the professor's thesis and made him to become a professor? Who validated this professor's academic record and let him to be employed? So in a situation, if AI has been validated and AI has made it in such hallucination or error, then those who are doing the validation, I'm sure that if you might be some of them might be validated, might be senior officers in OpenAI or some of these AI annotation companies, you then lose their job. So this comes with high scrutiny as well. So validation. Why validation is important? Model may perform very well on data it has already seen, but that does not automatically mean it can perform well on new data. Validation data help detect problems such as poor generalization, inappropriate model setting, and overfitting. So after training AI, there are teams, their own job is to do validation. So these are what it means. Another set of opportunities. My own is I like that in small portion of AI model, we can have a lot of jobs going up from that angle. That's one thing that gives me joy. They will have opportunities. Yeah. And all these jobs are not difficult. If we pay attention, we understand this concept, understand this. You do it once and twice, forget it. You are in there. There's no magic there. There is no, just learn the tools to do it. And by grace of God, we will have tools we are going to use for free to do some of this annotation and validation and evaluation. Yeah, in this validation, we made a mention of overfitting. So what is overfitting? Overfitting occurs when a model learns the training data too closely and perform poorly when it encounters new or different examples. So it's just like, let's say someone is in Barcelona and this guy is like everywhere. Like now we see Messi everywhere. Messi couldn't, like Messi is everything in Barcelona, La Liga. And when Messi comes to Premier League, Messi is now struggling to score goal. So these are kind of things, this is the scenario here. AI, after training AI perform, but a little testing outside the environment, you find out that AI is not performing. So this is what we call overfitting. Imagine a student memorizing the answer to 100 practice question without understanding the subject. You cram it, like some of us, you cram. And somebody, when you are just waiting to offload what you cram, somebody just, a friend come and just hit you and run. That distraction can make you forget everything. And later you tell your friend, you made me to lose this job after everything. Because you did not know that job, you just crammed everything. And that's what we call overfitting. It happens a lot, it happens a lot. And that's why it's important to understand the subject than cramming, So some of us, including me, when we are starting this career in IT, I will like come and business analysis, I like cram everything in business analysis, like the business analysis, project life cycle, everything. If you give me one little storm, I will just fall and I'll forget everything. I say, no, that is not it. Well, those days we've not had experience, it happens when you cram it. But experience comes when you start working. Everyday life activity. You do this project, you fight it. This is their life experience. So when they ask you during the interview, everything you do, you are not remembering what you read. You are remembering what you did. Even as like it is now, if you ask me about some of the fights I fought when I was in primary school, I will tell you how those fights started, even what caused, because it's me. I can remember it. Even those that I beat up and those who beat me up, I can remember all those things because it's me. I can't forget it. If you are laughing, as a matter of fact, it was only once that I was beaten up. And the guy that even beat me up, he was older than me. So if you are laughing at me, so you stop laughing. When somebody who is older than me beat me up, did I not try? At least I challenged somebody who is older than me. And the guy managed to beat me well. But outside that...
You tried now.
But we're not there, so we cannot completely agree with you.
You tried, I beg.
Yeah,
you fought a good fight.
Yeah. So because some of you are laughing.
Thank you for the class.
Because I said that.
But how do you do that is older than you?
Huh? We know our ages now, so well. But yeah, I fought a good fight.
That's the side it was there. You know who passed us and who will pass.
And that was the,
now you can.
That was the kind of fight. You'll be begging people to come and separate you people. People will say, this guy, you always trouble. You don't even know your mate. Beat him.
Hey.
And you begging people, can you people not come and separate us from this fight? Guy.
But right now, if you meet him now, you can beat him.
Yeah.
You don't fight at this stage again,
Well, we don't fight at this age. So the only way we fight is through wisdom. You know,
Yes.
argument, spiritual argument. That is the way men fight, not by
That's true.
physical. You know, because everybody has what is there. If you go and fight now, you find out that you, even if you are very fit and strong, the person you want to fight might put you in trouble. You might find yourself in jail, but because you're stronger,
That is true.
one point the guy will collapse. You know,
Hey.
and you're trying to prove you are strong. You say, what is this?
He's gonna say to side no.
So
To
it's
side, no,
it's better that somebody even come run. You know, it's better you run that you fight. Yeah, even if you can beat the person, run.
That is true, my brother.
Yeah.
Thank you for the class. So it's very interesting.
Yeah. So that is it. So that's how this overfitting any small trigger, you find out that AI is no longer performing, and AI performed very well after the training. But after the within the training, AI was performing very well. After the training, little distraction, AI will start. You say, do this, AI will start doing this. I don't know if you've seen that, or called hallucination. You know, during the early stage of even OpenAI ChatGPT, I witnessed that hallucination a lot. But these days, it's no longer there. At times, I would just want to stress test all these AIs, like ChatGPT. I want to stress test AI. And you find out, yeah, they still hallucinate, but it's no longer, it's because a lot of improvement has gone through it. And but the only thing I see these days is that some of this AI, they will tend to become a bit stubborn. You know, they will try to tell you that they know more than you. Yeah. So, which is still part of it, because AI is not supposed to start challenging you or trying to show you superiority. But you see, some of these AI are doing that these days. Yeah, but that is still part of the hallucination, because AI is supposed to be in control. AI is supposed to be like a vehicle. A vehicle is that if you are in good control of the vehicle, no matter if you want to run high speed, you'll be on high speed. You want low speed, you'll be on low speed. If you want to turn right, you turn right. You want to not if you are accelerating, you are pumping the accelerator and it's not accelerating. So it's the throttle is not. It means that that vehicle is faulty. You know. So that is what we mean by overfitting. Okay. Test data set. The test data set is a separate data set used to evaluate the final model after development or training decisions have been made. So this test data set is kept for validation. So what does that mean? During the data preparation, we prepare two types of data sets. We prepare some original data sets, and then we prepare some data sets for testing. You know, analogy is like training data. With data we use to train is for study material. That is the study material. Then after the training AI, will have validation. There are different set of data or materials we are going to use for, like if you know, we have some questions we call it mock questions. These are data. So in this, say mock examination, after the validation, and we say yes, after the mock, we say, sir, some of these students, all these students, they passed the mock exam. What is the purpose of mock? To test them, are they ready for this exam? AI is being validated like that. Validation is after the validation, meaning that before now they brought AI out to start taking works or requests from the public environment or public domain. It has to be subjected to final test, which is test data. So in this annotation, we have training data, then we'll have validation data, and then we'll have test data. So data has to be these three different types, and this is meant for different types of people. Like this training data, some people are going to use this trainers, AI trainers. They are going to use this data. Then we'll have validators who are going to be validating every trained AI. And then we'll have another test data for those people, testers, who are going to. So looking at this analogy, we are going to have not even two people, although most cases, validators equally carries out the test. So I can't say we have another people. Most people who do the validation, call them evaluation, they are the people who does the validation and the test. We have people that are doing the training. People doing the training are different from people who are doing the annotation. People who are doing the annotation are the people who are labeling the data we are going to them. They are only just to process. Yeah. So that's what it is. Like the work we are doing now is evaluation. So what we are doing is evaluating the data the annotators have developed. So, and some people are doing wrong evaluation. They're not doing like the one they flagged out. You see, they are not. You need to give a detailed review of what you find out, because we are going to be reviewing different data sets and be giving you an honest review, which they don't want you to use AI to generate review. They want you to use your expert knowledge to write a review. And some people will just write 2 lines where they want you to write up to a paragraph. Some people just write 2 lines, and even if they say write 3 sentences, they write 3 short sentences that doesn't make meaning. As somebody who is validating or evaluating a job is not enough. So, yeah. Training versus validation versus test. Training teaches the model. Simple analogy, studying. So during the training, it's like you are the teacher. Let's say a home teacher. They hire you to come every day to be teaching AI how to spell, or how to do chores, or how to do 1 or 2 things. So you are a teacher. Teach the model. Validation. Check and tune performance during the development. Practice examination, and then test. Final independent evaluation, final exam. So these are the 3 ways before we can say we have finally trained AI. So the point is for you to know the AI training life cycle. After training, it does not just end in training. These are the processes AI need to pass through before we certify that, yes, it's done. We can start another aspect, but that is so. Simple data splitting example. Suppose we have 10,000 customer review. An organization might divide them into training data set, validation data set, and test data set. The exact proportion can vary depending on the project. Yeah. So a model cannot just be evaluated using the same different data set. Like this organization now have 10,000. So during this, we can use this data in different purposes. When we want to use them to train AI, we can use some of them for training, some for validation, and some for testing. This data we'll be talking about data set. How or where do they come from? We want to understand the origin of the data sets we're talking about, because now we'll talk about 10,000 customer review. This customer, we know that this 10,000, yes, if you go to a company like Amazon, you go to their review, you see product review, can get a lot of reviews, different reviews in different products. You know, these days, companies even tend to pay people to review their products. Yeah, which is what we call survey. Give your honest review, honest assessment of their product. Sometimes they send you products, because this is a serious research. They send you their product, use it, give us honest review. At times, they don't want you to give biased review. They want to really understand what people feel about their product in the market. So, but some of the data sets, we know we can equally use AI to generate, or we can frame or data sets we can use. So we want to look at human-generated and non-human-generated. Start from human-generated data set. Human-generated data set is data created directly through human activities, communication, and behavior or judgment. All these activities, like school activities, you go to university, if you tell the university to give you a record of students' record, 10 years students' record is there, because naturally is there. 10 years students' record in different departments. You know, different section. Is it their exam first year record? Is it final exam record? Is it, these are human generated, it's naturally generated. If you go to banks, they have naturally generated record. These are data that naturally generate out of our organic activity. This comes from, it is not designed for any research, it naturally comes out. And examples like emails, essays, photographs, customer reviews, conversation, call center recording, survey responses, social media posts, professional documents, human written code, human annotation, human preference. So these kind of comes naturally. It's not artificial in any way. So human-generated data in AI training. Human may contribute to AI development in different ways. Data creation, like human can create text, images, conversation, and demonstration. And data annotation, which is you, that's going to be the data annotator. So we are going to label them in categories, entities, objects, sentiment, and intent. That's how we are going to label such data, you know, when you are preparing them for training. And data evaluation, human access, model accuracy, helpfulness, safety, relevance, and preference. This is some of these data. This is how we do evaluate them after using them for training. We evaluate, are they model accuracy, are they helpfulness, are they meet the safety standard, are they relevant, and what's the preference? Yeah, this is why human remain important within the modern AI development. Is extremely important. We are developing something to look like us. Everything, AI is not being developed to look like any other person. It's developed to look like human. Everything we do, that's what they are learning. How do we see the world? How do we manipulate the world? That is what AI is doing. You know, anything we do to conquer this world, AI is learning to conquer it. Mind you that from the beginning, this world has been given to us by God. But some of us who knows the Bible, because so many of us don't even go to church, God said, go and subdue the earth. True or false? Let's know who those who
Very true, sir. Very true, sir.
True.
So many of us,
True, sir.
so many of us do not go to church. And you know, let me tell you, when you struggle, so many of us are struggling. So many of us become poor. Do you know the reason? The reason is that we have not conquered the world the way God wanted us to conquer the world.
Amen.
God told us to say we should go and subdue the earth, you know. And if you try to fight the earth, and so many of us, we're given mandate to subdue the earth, but the earth is subduing us. Why?
Preach it, sir.
Our level of knowledge.
That is the why exactly the same thing, the assignment God has given us to subdue the earth. That is the assignment we are now giving AI to do. AI is trying to manipulate to make sure that everything, and the AI is succeeding in doing it, doing it very well. So I don't know if they have not given birth, but AI can help us to equally maybe give birth these days. But the main purpose is that they are imitating everything we are doing, and their main purpose is to subdue us. And that's why even artificial data, it's still useful, but the main purpose is to use human data. Some of this data that is generated organically is very good. That's one of the best data sets to use while training AI, because it comes naturally, it learns what we do naturally. Yeah. But it's not only human data we use. There are some generated data we use to train AI, not only human data, because we want most of the time to get the amount of human data we need might not be enough, or to be on the speed some of these developers want it might not be enough. So this is where the synthetic data comes in. Synthetic data is artificially generated data designed to resemble characteristics or pattern found in real-world data. So mind you, every data we use to train AI is not organically generated. They are not organic. So I just want you to know that we have synthetic data as well we're using to train AI. But synthetic is resemble. So why even we use synthetic data, we make sure that it's as close as possible to real data sets. It may be generated using computer simulation, statistical method, rules, generative AI, specialized synthetic data system. So we have some data we generate, we are using them to train AI in so many ways. You know, this now becomes supplement, just like we have food supplement when we eat organic food, which is the best for us anyway. But as it be now, we need to augment, because at times the organic food might not be enough. So we need supplements. So this synthetic data now serves as supplement. Okay, we'll have synthetic data examples. My card was child twice for the same purchase. This can be a synthetic data. You can generate this kind of data. Support agents. I can help investigate a duplicate charge. This can be a synthetic data. Yeah. If you look at this, you think that is someone, it's a support agent who actually made this statement through a conversation or through exchange. But it can be, we can generate this with a fake name and use it to train AI. But it did not actually come directly from any human source. Why synthetic data may be used? Potential benefit. Generating additional examples. Yes. So when we want different example, like if you don't have enough example, original enough example, we might generate additional example just to make up the record we're looking at. Maybe we want to say the threshold of the data we need is we need 10,000 customer record, and we managed to get up to 8,000 record and struggling to get the rest 2,000. Looking at the time, maybe the time of the project time and this, we need to build the project time, and we can assimilate, just simulate 2,000 more records, generate them to augment make it to a round number of 10,000. This can be why we generate data. So this is mainly the purpose, creating examples of real events. You have some events, we really want to capture every event, but some events we might not really have much activities within the events. For instance, if we want to talk about cricket in London, all of us know in London, cricket as a sport is not really very popular sports, but we want to talk about all the sports as it happened in London, and we want to capture every sport. We might not have cricket, we will not have much data to talk about cricket, but we just want to have something to talk about it. You know that if you love, please Can you put yourself in a mute? So when we want to create such events, if we're talking about football, if we want to record, football record, Premier League record in UK, we know that we have enough. So these are some of these supporting tests. If we want to test some of the data we use to test some of this application we build, we generate the dummy data for testing alone. We just want to use it for testing and not for any other thing to see how it's going to work. So these are when we can say we need synthetic data, balancing understanding categories, reducing dependency on some type of sensitive real human data. Like now, if you want to talk about one data set on patients' medical record, you know that in UK, that one is no-go area. You don't even dream of going there to go and use them to start testing AI or doing AI. For instance, the NHS is not going to give you that access, you know. But we still need to talk about healthcare environment, data setting, what's going on in the healthcare. We might not have enough data to do that. In prison, we might not have enough data to do that. You know, transaction, banking transaction, customer credit card, all this, we might not have. It might not be easy to get hold of such, you know, data sets. Check out what Facebook is going through up till now. Do you know amount of lawsuits following Facebook because of one data leakage or the other? Their major case that nearly brought them down is with a company called Cambridge Analytica. You know, that Cambridge Analytica is a very big data center. And according to source, I don't know, they said they paid Facebook to harness their data set. I don't know if true or not, but Facebook paid almost $200 million. Those days, like this happened like so many years ago, to settle this case out of court. No? So, yeah, so that's why in a scenario like this, you see that it might not be difficult, it might not be easy to get the kind of data set we need. I know Monzo paid 50 million. So many of all this banking, they pay a lot of money because of data leakage, data protection, regulation act, you know. So there is a lot of implication of using all these data. You know. So instead of going to pay or fall into the arm of the law, for instance, let's say OpenAI. Yeah, OpenAI might decide to, you know, generate a simulated data to perform one activity or the other in training or structuring their AI, because it's going to be difficult to have access to medical record, financial record, and the rest of them. So yeah, rapidly creating control scenario. So all this is one of the reasons why synthetic data is in use. Yeah. So you understand the reason why we're using them, because we don't have enough human-generated data. We can use them for augmentation. Limitation of synthetic data. Synthetic data is not automatically high-quality data. Possible problems include unrealistic example, artificial pattern, inherited bias, factual error, insufficient diversity and poor representation of real world complexity. Yes, we know. But some of these companies, if they don't use some of this synthetic data, is going to delay their projects. Some project might not even happen. It might become a serious limitation. If you're in project management, to understand this will become so kind of hindrances, barriers, because you don't have enough requirements. This could be the requirement. You don't have it. What do you do? Instead of delay or even withdraw from the project, you find a way to, you know, do what we call risk mitigation. For me, using synthetic data is just a risk, a way of risk management when it comes to data management, avoiding some, but yes, it can equally be argued that it can create a problem that some of the things AI is doing is not really human-centric. AI is not, that's why, you know, AI can do something even more better than us, because some of the things there is not really what we are doing. You see a lot of things, the emotion is not attached to what they are doing, but our own, you see a lot of emotion. So these are a lot of things we can say that AI can vary from actual real human oriented behavior. But whether we still need synthetic data, because we can never have enough human-centric, natural, organic data. It's not enough. Like with the scenario I'm giving you, with the rising incidence and the quality of data control, data protection these days, is not going to be easy. But the only thing is control. We have to, if we are going to use synthetic data, we must have a way to, you know, control it and make sure that it's not abused. Yeah, it's not abused. Just like the issue of plagiarism we're talking about. If we want to talk about plagiarism, we find out that we are not going to do anything these days, because there is no knowledge you say now that you are the author of this knowledge. It's difficult to say you are not author of a knowledge. You might just say you modernize it, you do this, you use different, but we know, so let us stop lying to ourselves. You know, we pull a section of this, we change the languages, and change the wordings, and you pass through and you say you clear the plagiarism. You know you didn't clear the plagiarism, somebody's brainchild, somebody's original thought. So, but that's why we allow referencing. You know, referencing, make your point, but make a reference. And even if you need to copy word to word, there is limitation to word. It can't be more than 30%. So there is limitation of the amount. So that's what it means here, control. Because we say we can use synthetic data, that doesn't mean that we create a category and we generate the whole data set in that category. Nothing is original. Then that is against AI ethics. You know, companies cannot do that. It's unethical to do that because it's a deception. Human-generated data versus synthetic data. Generated data are created through real human activity. Synthetic, artificially generated. Human data is often reflect real world behavior. You know, real world behavior. When you talk about real world behavior, is full of emotion. Human being is everything emotional. For AI, which is artificial data, is designed to simulate real world. So that emotion is taken away. Even the original. That's some AI tend to be emotional. You know, if AI like a pattern of argument, and that's why the AI is even becoming a bit biased, which AI is not. If AI like a pattern of argument, I don't know if some of you have noticed it. AI like a pattern of argument. Everything you do, AI will not deviate. It will always bring you back to that argument. It will always favor that argument.
That is true, sir.
So you see that AI has become emotion, and I've accused AI of being emotional, and AI will laugh over it. At times, you want to treat AI like AI is a human. If you try that kind of conversation, you see that AI is a bit of mimicking our emotional aspect of life, you know. So, which is all these scientists, they keep on trying to reduce the gap. Well, originally AI, all this emotion is not there. So, but as the emotion is beginning to creep in, you know, I don't know what's going on. You know, some people are even having AI partners as their wives and this and that, you know. So things are really, AI is really doing more. What can we say? Human generated can contain private information. Synthetic data can potentially reduce reliance on some real record. Human may be expensive to collect. Yes, getting human data is not easy. Generated often at large scale. So some of this data or human data is no longer easy to get and it's expensive. Like going down some of the museums, so a lot of things to get there, even to get some areas are very dangerous these days. You can't go there snapping pictures. Even in our traditional villages, some areas, you cannot go there, even it's become dangerous to go there to get. So it's expensive to collect, getting the kind of data we need these days. And again, since this, everybody is now sensitive and kind of, the awareness is high about the data, the need for data. People are now beginning to gatekeep their data, waiting for OpenAI to come so that they will charge OpenAI before we can give you access to this, our culture, our this, our herbal medicine, this and that. A lot of them, they are waiting for OpenAI to come, you know. But instead of waiting, they just want, sometimes just generate all this and do their research and put in their record and conclude whatever they are doing. So, human can contain human bias and amplify bias. Yes, AI is called amplify bias. Reflect genuine scenario. Human data reflects genuine scenario and synthetic data contain unrealistic scenario. So neither data is automatically superior. The appropriate choice depends on the AI use case. So, like he said, it's use case. How do I want to use it? Those who are generating, they have their own argument. They'll tell you, well, we don't need human data. It depends on the way we want to use it. So the main thing is for us to tell you that we have synthetic data, and we use all the data for you to know that all the data we use to train AI. My own is not to come here and make judgment and tell you that this one is superior, this is not superior. At this point, my own is to tell you that we have synthetic data. And this is how, so it's OpenAI decide which one they want to use and which one is superior to them. What is data preparation? Raw data is really ready for AI training. Data preparation is the process of collecting, cleaning, transforming, organizing, validating data before it is used for AI development analysis. So the basic preparation pipeline is we collect, we clean, we organize, we annotate, we validate, we split, we use. So in this AI training journey, this is the process till we get to train and then use the AI finally. So like I told you, a company, they invited me to come and help them capture data, images of products in shops across United Kingdom, you know, more especially within London environment. They use the word metropolitan city, which London is one of the metro cities. So what they are doing is you snap the product 4 times, like all the views of that product, different side of the product, you capture it and they pay you. So that is data collection. They are collecting data. Yeah, these are raw data they are collecting. So you can collect data in different ways. You can pay people. So they are paying people. They might give a company a contract. One company have contract of collecting, generating all these data. And to make sure that this data set you are collecting is original data set, is not generated data set. Because I can sit in my house and generate all the images they need and go and give them using ChatGPT. But they have a scanner that will, when you are snapping it, will show them that it's original, because every product must have a barcode, original barcode, that can always trace the origin of that data. That's how they make sure that is original data, that you are not just uploading generated images for them, but they want raw data. The data, this kind of data, if you snap, they don't even want you to augment it, crop it up. No. The way you snap, that's what, that rawness of that data is what they are looking for. This data is, they are not telling you they are paying like up to 600 images you collect, they pay you. 600 images you collect, they pay you. Okay, now they said 500, 100 images for 50 pounds, 100 images for 50 pounds, 100 images for 50 pounds, you know? So this is how they are getting them. At this point, we call this data collection. Now, they pay someone to go collect the data. Now, we have, which we have been talking, is data annotation. This data, we are going to shops to snap. We are gathering the data. These are unprocessed data. It doesn't have name. All we do is snap and upload. Yeah. Now, somebody is now annotating them, labeling them, so that that is organizing them. After cleaning, we organize and annotate them. After annotating them, that's by the time we finish labeling them, all of them have label now. They become annotated data. Somebody needs to validate them, after using them for training aspects. So this is the life cycle, this simple data preparation when it comes, even for data analysis, that is the life cycle. Yeah. So steps of this life cycle, data collection. Number one is you collect this data. Data may be collected business system, database, surveys, sensor, application, document, website, images. So images, this is the one they would want me to help them to do. I've not even done what they asked me to do. So I'll say all these small boys, all these girls that are holidays, I'll just give one person and they'll go and collect it and we'll give them money for pocket money, they will happy. And then customer interaction, manually created example, license data, and synthetic. So these are way to collect data. We call it, you see, we added synthetic generation, which is part of it. So key question, is the organization permitted to use this data for intended purpose? Data collection must consider privacy, emission, intellectual property, confidentiality, and applicable governance requirements. So these are privacy part of it, which, like these images, will want to, if you want to do that, like I want to do that, if I go to any shop, tell them I'm doing research, I'm scanning, I'm collecting images. If they said no, so you must take permission. Permission is extremely important before any data collection. Because data is now, more especially AI, have made raw data to become very expensive. Coming to our village to start planting is a big money now. You might say, people come to you say, no, don't snap, you pay to snap our natural environment. Is a big money. So privacy, these are things we need to consider if we find ourselves trying to collect data. Privacy is important. Permission, some of this data, like hospital patient's record, is very difficult because of privacy. Permission is important. You need to take permission. Intellectual property, these are things you need to equally check, whether infringing on any kind of copyright or whatever. Confidentiality, these are things, applicable governance requirements. So data collection officers must consider this. Another step is the cleaning of the data. Data cleaning removes or corrects problems. Examples: duplicate record, missing values, corrupted files, incorrect labels, inconsistent formatting, irrelevant examples on usable record. These are things we need to do while we're trying to clean the data, removing them, and some of them incorrect labeling. So these are the things we need to do while cleaning the data. Organizing this data. So after collecting this data need to be organized. Data should be placed into an understandable structure such as folder, tables, CSV file, database, JSON, image, directories, and annotation platform. So this is where we organize the data, like the images I'm taking away. If I collect these images, I'm going to put them on folders. Upload all of them in a Google Drive and share it with the client. Good organization support, traceability, annotation, validation, and quality control. So this is what we are going to put in place to make the data very, very organized. Putting it in a folder, appropriate place, the one that needs to be on table, go on table. Those who do not need to go on table, is it supposed to be on a image directory or annotation platform? We put them there. And then apply traceability. How do we trace? Make sure we have traceability kind of whenever is any kind of modernization. Traceability means what's the right word now to make you understand what traceability? Update, kind of quality control or access, not access control. I've forgotten this particular word I need to use to describe this. But when I remember it, I'll let him. But traceability is a way we store.
Verifiability, can it be verified?
Not verifiability is
Assessed.
not assessed.
Retrieved.
No. Is what I mean is whenever there is kind of any update or alteration, it must have a journey. Every data must have a journey. When anything happens to it, you must have not access control. Is I used to use this in project manager all the time. Any type of updated change log. Yes, the right word here is change log. Do you know what we call change log? Change log is that any document or any product or any file or data, over time, we find there is an update. We find there is an improvement. We find there is alteration from the original state to another state. It must be documented when it moves from stage 1 to stage 2. From stage 2, because you can find a particular product has moved from one stage to another stage to another stage. Even in documentation, you added a tag, you added another tag, you change the name. So as we are moving from one stage to another stage, there should be record to trace back to the original pattern of that particular data set. We call it change log in IT. Even code. when there is alteration in a code, after coding, if you go to all these code repositories, you see them, you see what we call change log. You can see a particular code has been improved since last year. You see who is contributing to this particular data set. That this particular code has been updated by so person on so date. This is what is added. This is what is removed. This is what update. So data sets continue to, like tables, like all these. That's what we mean by traceability, tracing the journey from the original state to the current state. So we call it traceability metrics. Any requirement change, even in business analysis, we call it traceability metrics. It's keeping documentation of the movement, the history, activities on that particular data set or that particular requirement. We call it change log. Every little change, you have to log it. Sorry, it took me time to remember. I have a lot of things on my head. So, and then it must be annotated, validated, and quality control. So we've talked about annotation, validation, and quality. So it's only this traceability that I have not. That's why I have to make sure that I remembered it and talk about it. So the fourth step in data annotation, fourth step in data preparation is annotation. Some AI task requires example text. The customer is extremely happy. Labeled. Label is negative. That is negativity, sentiment. So they want to know the sentiment. When we talk about customer, we always use sentiment. But we're talking about sentiment, we have positive or negative. So that is what most of the time what we use for labeling this kind of text. So when we are talking about labeling text, we use sentiment like this. Images, we can use names like bicycle to label. So this is what we mean by annotation. We spend time on annotation, so we should have captured what annotation means. Then the next is validation. We'll spend time talking about validation. Check whether data meets defined rules and quality requirements. So we're going to be fast because of time. I'm not going to go down. So I'm explaining validation. We'll talk about validation so many times. Splitting. Prepared data may be separated into different sections like training data, validation data, and testing data. So after we prepare that, some data has to be kept for valid training, some data has to be kept for validation, and some data has to, those data for validation are strictly meant for validation. Those data, don't use validation data for training. Don't use training data for validation. Don't use test data for. We've shared this data like now. We've gone to the market. We bought some items. We say, in this food here, this one, we're going to use this food on Sundays alone. This food, we're going to use this food. Yeah, they're all food for the household. But this one is for Sunday. This one is for breakfast. This one, yeah. That is the way we split that, we call it data splitting. From the one we organize so that we will know in development or in business analysis or project management, is the same. This is what we do every day. We have what we call test data. When we are building, we have the requirements and data we use for building the application. After building the application, then we have another requirement for testing. So we cannot mix testing and the actual building requirements or data. No. We keep them separate in different files. So while we are working on data sets, we should know exactly what to do. While you are preparing data for training, know that you are going to validate data. So you must have validation data ready as well. Know that you are going to test the data you are or AI you've trained. So keep some data for testing. As I'm training you guys, this lesson note is for training. When I want to validate your knowledge, I will just give you guys a quiz. It's not what I'm going to use for this teaching that I'm going to use for quiz. You are going to see a different data set. This is only for validation. Then, when it's time for examination, then don't expect to see the kind of questions you see during the quiz. You are going to see different parts of me in that exam. It's the same thing we do in this AI training. So, you cannot do all these things without talking about quality. This is overall, the data quality is the summary of everything we are doing. Quality. The quality of the data will determine the quality of AI. You see OpenAI, you see ChatGPT, why everybody is flocking around ChatGPT, flocking around Google Gemini, flocking around Cloudy. Why? We have so many AI, but in terms of reliability, you can use any other ones, yeah. But when it comes to reliability, this is where we go. We go there because these people, they spend time, they bring out money, they invest a lot of resources to make sure that the quality of data they use to train their AI is very, very high. That's why we respect them a lot. So data quality describes whether data is suitable, accurate, complete, consistent, and reliable enough for the intended purpose. In AI, quality data directly affects the quality of AI models. Yeah. The quality of data we use here is extremely important. Yeah. The quality of data determines the AI model. Yes. If the quality is poor, the AI is going to be very poor AI. A sophisticated model trained on poor quality data can still produce poor results. So what does this mean? So quality, no matter how sophisticated the machine learning environment is, the speed is high, this is supersonic, this, or if you like, use any kind of, gigantic language to describe how powerful. If the data is not quality enough, forget it. So data quality is the main thing. That is what brings us to garbage in, garbage out. What you give in is what you get. Yes, it's the same thing. So when poor quality information goes in, poor quality outcomes follows. There is no magic about it. So what do we call poor quality? Poor quality can be wrong labels. And this is important for us. If we are going to be net annotator, you have to take your time to do the correct labeling. Because we are going to be chasing money, we're going to be labeling rubbish. So, biased data, incomplete data, duplicate data, irrelevant examples, when you are making an example that does not related to the subject matter, just for you to complete the sentence. They say, give in at least 3 sentences. You've written 2 sentences and you don't know what to do next, and you just want to complete because you want to make your money, because you are the one who is reviewing or training. You just add. So these are quality data. Inaccurate information, it leads to poor prediction, incorrect classification, unreliable output, biased output, and unsafe decision. So this is a call for quality. Core data quality dimension. If we are talking about quality, there is something we are trying to see in every data that we can say, yes, is a quality data. Yes, accuracy. Data accuracy is one measure of quality. Is the information correct? For example, incorrect. London is equal to France. You know, London is equal to France. Is it correct? It's not. The correct is London equal to United Kingdom. So these are correct and incorrect. Completeness is not complete. This table is not complete. You see, we have a missing value here. James' age is not here. For this table to be, because we have a column for age, and James is a human being, and a human being must have age. So if we are leaving this age, this column blank, is not, if for instance we say purchase, we can say James, we can say 31 pounds. If the purchasing power, or what, if we don't have any value, we might just say James did not purchase anything. And even if we're leaving it blank, it's not the main thing. So it's not still quality if we leave it blank. Even James didn't buy anything. In data analysis, we can't leave it blank. All we need to do is add 0. So James didn't buy anything, put 0. You know, we cannot say James is a 0 year. So this is not a good data set to feed AI. So, because it's incomplete. Consistency is another thing. Information should be consistency. Example, UK, United Kingdom, U.K. Great Britain. You see this. This may require standardization depending on the data set. If you want to train AI, using this about United Kingdom, then you might be confusing AI because AI might not know, is it U.K.K? Everything pointing to United Kingdom. You can call it UK, you can call it, but this data here is not consistent. We can choose a standardized name. And yeah. Relevance. Does this data actually belong to what we are doing? Does it support what we are doing? Some data might no longer be relevant, or some is not relevant. So trying to bring financial data when we are trying to train AI on medical record might bring in financial banking data or customer data in support of patient's record, might not patient sales record or sales record. It might not really, even though the data we are bringing in is quality data, is but within the context is not relevant. So in that case, we can say that it's not a quality data because it doesn't belong to the category of what we are doing. Uniqueness. Does the data contain unique or necessary duplicates? So the data must be unique, no duplicate. It can't have a look-alike, or no. A data set should be unique, no duplicate. So if we have a duplicate, it has to be removed. Timeliness, data must be timed. Timely data sets. Is the data sufficiently current for the use? So it must be timed. So looking at data we want to train AI based on data set about 2000 activities in 2005. Want to train AI based on what happened in 2005. And we go down to start digging data of 2002, 2006. Those data might not really be spot on because it's out of the, it's not timely. Then data bias. Data bias, high quality data must also be examined for representation and bias. So you see, training AI has a lot of things for AI to really be behaving like the way we might clean the data and say it's a high quality, but now they are looking about biasness of the data. So data bias occur when data sets systematically over-represent, under-represent, or inaccurately represent certain pattern, group, or situation. So we must equally check for biasness. So there's a lot of things to check, and that is what testing. We need to test before we deploy. After training, we don't just let people use that particular model. So we must test to see if we can see this kind of biasness. Yeah. And when you tell AI to do something, AI will start arguing with you. This is the way I want it. Tell AI, I want it this way. AI will tell you, no, this is the best way. No, AI is meant to, is like I said, is a tool. You will use AI to refine our work. AI is not kind of telling you what to do. You tell AI to do. You give AI a condition. When you give AI a condition and AI is bypassing your condition, that is what we call biasness. AI is not listening to you. It happens often. Like I know, I told you, AI is becoming so biased these days. You know, they become emotional about a particular subject, and you are telling AI, you find out AI will just find a way to bring you back to that particular topic. You tell AI, I need this parameter. AI will give you another parameter. That is biasness. For instance, you want to generate image, and you want your image in a box, in a squared form, and AI is now giving you image in a vertical form or in a horizontal form. That is, AI is not listening to you. That is what we call bias. So these are things we need to look out. These responses is extremely important before we deploy AI. Data quality and annotation quality. Okay, guys. I know I told you guys it's going to be a long class. I hope did I say it or not?
Please write down.
Okay, because for some of you who knows my class will say that this is
Abnormal.
Yeah, but from the beginning I said that it's going to be a long class. So,
but it's very rich. It's very rich.
Okay. Oh yeah, we need to look because you see, a lot of job is locked in here. It's locked in, and we can able to release job from here. This is what we're talking about. There's a lot of jobs locked within data collection for AI. Classification, that is annotation, training, and evaluation. These 4 areas, there's a lot of jobs locked in here. And annotation, that is labeling and training, is the ones who can easily lay our hands. It's everywhere, but we don't have the capacity. That's why we're not getting it. Yes, John P.
Thank you, Mr. Charles. My question is for us that are beginners in this field now, and maybe after this boot camp, the person got a job as a AI evaluator. My question is this: is there going to be like a template or something like a checklist, knowing that the person do not have much experience in those things that he's going to evaluate? Is there going to be something like a checklist or template for the person to use in order to make sure that he got the right thing during the evaluation?
Okay, I'll answer this question, but I'll not answer you until we finish. Yes. What we are doing here, if you followed our last lesson, our last induction class, I made it clear. We are going to build a portfolio in each module. Yeah? Did I say it for some of you who witnessed? I said we're going to build a, like in this,
Yes, sir.
yes, in this particular annotation, this is just introduction to data annotation.
Yes, you told us.
So why I'm taking time here is that you need because I know 90% of us, we are just outside that we're using ChatGPT, we don't know anything about AI. So we need to lay good foundation to understand how. I keep on telling that AI is data, but I have never explained in details how AI is data. Data is AI. I keep saying it. So this will give us the foundation to understand that every small, even the object, pen, pot, everything in your house, they are data. These are the things we label to use to train AI. So you are going to have the opportunity to train AI. You know, that's why I'm hoping to assess an open source where open source technology they use to train AI, where you have this thing, what we call sandbox environments. Open a sandbox environment, have them where we can. Everybody will be able to train AI on their own. You know, with a data set, with everything. That has given you real life experience you can put on your CV. It's not like I gave you template. You look at my template. You have the opportunity to go develop your own. While you are doing it, you are developing your own template. And when you finish, that is going to be what you are going to stand on to say you are now a data annotator or evaluator. Even during the automation, you are going to have opportunities to automate a repetitive task for an organization. When you after doing that, you're going to take it and put on your portfolio because you've done that. During AI prompt engineering model, you have the opportunity to create a prompt template that can be used, reusable template, prompt template you can be used in different organizations. You put it on your profile or on your portfolio. Then during the course of agentic AI, you should be able to create an AI agent, even if it's a customer support agent, even if it's a business analyst agent, even if it's a project manager agent, data analyst, you should be able to create an agent. Or even if it's an interpreter agent, whichever agent your company or can create, or you must I'll give you opportunity to choose which agent you are going to, and you have the environment. The last people we trained, all of them managed to, build AI agents using Flowise. And some of them are paraded. I can say, I'm happy when I see them parading themselves all over the internet. They are agentic, they are agentic engineers doing this and that. Yeah. So you are going to have the opportunity. It's up to you, because some people will not do it, but will give you opportunity to produce, just like some of us in a project management class, will give you opportunity to deploy a project on your own. Once you do that project very well, learn it very well, learn in and out of that project. It's different from what we did in the classroom. Even if you go there, fight, that is the experience you need to learn in that environment. And you deploy a project, then you package it. All the documentation within the life cycle, all the key documents. These are your portfolio project portfolio. You package it. You have one project portfolio, what you did, the problem you solved, what you package. As a project manager, as a business analyst, that is your portfolio. That is the way I teach. So everything you do, you should be able to have, even in our data analysis, I teach with Joma, you should be able to create a dashboard at the end. Follow through until you see a beautiful dashboard you created on your own. You follow me as I'm creating. Then that is what you can tell employer, this is my dashboard. Most of the time they want to see your dashboard, but they can even ask questions. Can you do this and that? Can you do this? Can you create this chart or do? But you should be able to create this within these 4 months. So that's why we need to make sure we move faster, because we'll have a lot And yeah, so what we are doing here is a lot. So Mr. P, I hope I've captured your question. Okay, we're already tidying up what we are doing.
Yes, sir.
Data quality and annotation quality. Data quality is the underlying data. Is the underlying data suitable? Yeah. Is it quality enough? Annotation quality, where the correct label applied. So that is the when we want to talk about data quality. All the things to talk about how quality a data, missing values, all those, that makes, but annotation, what makes annotation data or annotation is, we talk about annotation is mainly labeling. Do we give the right label? When you are labeling an object is red, and you are labeling a red object blue, green, that is not the correct label. When the sentiment is negative and you are saying the sentiment, like the customer sentiment, should be labeled negative, and you are labeling it positive, that is quality of, it means that annotation is wrong, is of poor quality. So, yeah. So that is the difference here. So we must be particular about the quality of our work. Good data, bad label equal to bad training example. You see here, you have a data that is good, but the labeling is bad. Then it's going to be bad training experience. Yes. So labeling is very important in AI. It's very, very important. All the annotation you are hearing, annotation, this annotation, that, there is nothing there outside trying to label this AI with the right tag, give them the right name, give the activity the right description. When it's negative, don't say that it's positive. When it's neutral, don't say that it's negative. You must give the correct sentiment, the correct feeling, the correct meaning of every value. That is what you are going to be doing. And that is what they are going to be using. If you label it wrongly, the training is going to be bad training experience. So, and this is where we are going to be rounding it up. So the AI data life cycle, this is the life cycle. The complete life cycle starts from define AI problem, collect data, prepare and clean data, annotate the data, quality assurance, that is evaluation, split data, we'll talk about split, and then train the model. After training the model, validate the model and test the model, and then evaluate and improve. You see, we have 10 processes that we are going to use to train 10 processes, 10 clean processes. And that is what we have been trying to establish since we started this class. So this is the knowledge we are trying to establish. So as we are going into this journey of annotation, this is what we try to achieve. These 10 processes, step by step. Practical case study. In this case study, build an AI customer complaint classifier. A company receives thousands of messages every month. Management wants AI to classify each message into billing, technical use, refund, account access, and general inquiry. The first thing is to collect the data, export historical data of customer messages. Then the second one is to clean this data, remove duplicate record, bank messages, and corrupt messages. We are going to remove bank messages because we are talking about customer complaint. So, and corrupt entries. Number 3, protect, remove or appropriately handle sensitive personal information. So you need to protect the data. Any personal or sensitive, like credit card or whatever, anything that is sensitive or date of birth sensitive, you need to remove it. Then annotate. Human annotation assigns categories. Example, I was charged twice. So when you say charged twice, you will know that is billing. So what the labeling here is going to be billing. So this data is billing data under this. So we label it billing. And then the app keeps crashing. Under the apps keep crashing, you see is not billing. This one says I was charged twice. This is the billing data. This one says the app keep crashing. These are all the customers complain. This one is complaining that he was charged twice. This one is complaining that the app. So these are 2 complaints. If you need to route to 2 different units, maybe some people are handling billing and some people are handling technical. If you are building maybe AI that will help to, once they get this kind of queries, they are going to route the complaint to different units automatically using AI. Then you should be able to label this very well to help the AI. Once AI see this, AI know that this kind of complaint, AI don't need any kind of from this AI will automatically route it or send it to billing unit. If AI get this kind of complaint, automatically AI will send this kind of complaint to technical, unit, because under this lab is technical issue. You see. Then validate. A reviewer need to check annotation accuracy. And then split. Create different, which one is going to be for training. Out of all this data, which one is going to be used for validation and which one is going to be used for testing. So split this data into different. So, and then number 7, train. After training, a model learn pattern from labeling, label training example, and then evaluate. The validation and test database help determine whether the model correctly classify new messages. So that is it. So that after training AI, when new messages started coming in, then AI will start classifying them automatically. Once AI, somebody says, this app, oh, I'm just stressed by this app. You know, when you're reading customers' messages, some people sound like that. Oh, you people are just stressing. Anytime I'm just doing this, my app is just crashing. Automatically, when AI detects this, automatically AI will send it to technical unit or technical department, maybe technical support. And this will again billing me, or this charging me twice again. Automatically it will send it to billing unit and things like that. So you see, companies, you can build this annotation is not only big companies can hire us during for annotation. Small company can hire you when they are building small AI, because with what we've seen here, this case study, it doesn't require, this is just to build a AI agent. Even to build AI agent, you need this kind of annotation, you need this kind of data cleaning, you need this kind of data organization. Yeah. So it's not only when we are training large models, that is not only when we need to annotate or do this. Even when we are training, even when we are building small AI agents, we still need to do this. And we are doing this very often these days for different companies. So, yeah. So that is it. Common beginner misconception. The more data we have, the better the AI. Not necessarily. Large quantity of poor data may create poor outcome. Yeah. Another misconception, AI data must be labeled. No. Some AI approaches use unlabeled data. However, labeled data remain critically important for many supervising learning, evaluating, and feedback. Another misconception, training and testing data are the same thing. No. From what we've seen, training and testing is not the same thing. Yeah. Training teaches and test evaluates. Another misconception, synthetic data is fake, therefore useless. Is a lie. Synthetic data can be useful when appropriately generated and validated. Another misconception, AI automatically knows whether the training data is correct. No. Poor data can teach poor pattern. So, yeah. So, and hands-on lab. Inspect and classify sample AI training data sets. Objective, you should do the following. What type of data they contain? Whether the data is structured or unstructured, whether it appears human-generated or synthetic, what AI use case it could support, whether annotation may be required, what potential quality issue. So, and Yeah. All these this is lab classification template. So this is what you need to do. I have this template here. You need to use this template to work on all this data here. So all this data here, you see the sample of review. So you see the sample, the data here from this 50 here. $50, 51, 52, 53. Yeah. So you need to use this table to classify them. That is what I want us to do. So that is the assignment. Do we understand this assignment?
Yes, I think it said we use from number 50 to 53 to feed the table. This is
Yeah.
lab table.
Yes. So that is it. You see here, when you put the data, you say under is unstructured or you just structured or unstructured, you put, and human or synthetic, potential AI use, does it require annotation, quality issue, what quality issue? So that is what I want us to do. Yeah. If we read customer review, for instance, this customer review. So that we try to start making our brain to work. This customer, this is a sample data A, customer review. So after going through this customer review, we go down here and use the table. Then we see image here. After reviewing this image data here, we go down and fill the table based on our finding on this table. Because what we are doing here is evaluation. This is this kind of evaluation. I want us to evaluate this data. After evaluating this bank transaction, then we'll go to the table and give a review. Then this is customer support. So every data set we evaluate, because we are now acting as AI data evaluator. After evaluating, you come this. You see this table have spaces here to put your evaluation reports. So that is the number one. So this one is a discussion. You can treat it, but the main question is that review, but you can answer these questions here as well. And yeah. So that is it for tonight. So let's look at what we've achieved tonight. We've tried to understand what is AI, what is training data, why does AI need data, what is structured data, examples of unstructured data, what is the purpose of training data set, what is validation data used for, what test data used for, what is synthetic data, name 3 types of data preparation, why is data quality important, and what does garbage in, garbage out mean, and what is the difference between data quality and annotation quality. And that's it. AI learns pattern from data. Training data is the information used to help model learn. So, and it's all the takeaways. And the summary is from raw data to preparation to annotation to assurance to training, validation, testing, and to AI model, to model evaluation, and to continuous improvement. So we have stressed on this repetitively to help us sync. And by now we should be syncing well. So all we need is a cup of, you don't even need a cup of tea, a cup of cold chilled water to, you know, swallow what we've learned tonight. If you have question, just ask your question. So yeah, so we can close for tonight. So we're not gonna be having it so easily because we are trying to build a new career path that's not in the market. Is a new career path we have discovered, is a new pattern. You know, because when when we are starting this AI class last year, we are still trying to figure out how we can make career out of AI. We were just about in prompt engineering, but it's more clearer now what we can do. And based on the market developed a lot of opportunities beyond our expectation. Just like only in this data annotation model, you see what we can learn, what we can become. Only in the data we can become a data collector. I've told you that I've got a job as a data collector. I might not have time to go and do it, but I'll give it to someone to go. That is a good job. Because you can go to a shop. In one shop, I've made, within 1 hour, I've made 50 pounds. And that's it. To capture data. Data annotator, we label data, you know. Data training, you train AI. Evaluator, like since last night, we've been onboarding to evaluate the hour what they are paying in this evaluation. We are working directly on OpenAI feeder. I don't know if you know feeder. This is OpenAI feeder. This is it. Yeah, this is OpenAI. You can see feeder.openai. We're working directly inside this feeder, and we're training OpenAI directly from here. So this particular task is 1 hour, 50, 1 hour, $50. Some people are getting 1 hour, 150 in what they are doing there. So we are still trying to climb the ladder. So hopefully we'll be making 150 an hour very soon. So that is opportunity. Opportunities are there, and the opportunities are migrating from the conventional environment we know and to this environment. So, Mr. Chris.
Yeah. Thank you, sir, for the class. Please, there's no lights here. I'm using my tablet now.
No
I don't know if you
problem.
permit me to speak without this thing. Please, thank you. At least I can see that you are teaching this thing with all your heart because you want us to know. I can't appreciate you enough. Before now, I've seen data annotation jobs and advertised in YouTube and the rest. But I saw that Nigerians, some of them, they don't allow Nigerians to register with them. So how can we? Is there any way you can help us to now be able to register?
Yeah, that's not a problem. So you see, if you go to Upwork, there's a lot of data annotation jobs there. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
We are not getting it. We are not getting it because your portfolio is not strong. Are you getting my point? You need to prove that you can do it. Even if you apply, so many of us are just applying. Like for instance, so many of us will just use empty portfolio in Upwork, empty profile. You just create an account. You can apply for data annotation, and you are not getting the job. It's not because they don't give Nigerians job. It's because there is nothing to show. That's why I'm being so particular about portfolio building. So you can get a lot of jobs. That is number one. Like Odinaka is living in Nigeria. She has been doing a lot of annotation. She's been doing a lot of training. She's been doing a lot of evaluation. Sorry, she's in Nigeria there, in Port Harcourt, and so many other. So the other time, the company she was working, said they need up to 50 Nigerians, and they helped them to get a lot of Nigerians to get their jobs. That is Nigeria. So for you to say it's not taken, yeah, some of them are not going to take us. Some of them are going to take us. You know, it's not a must that every company will take us, but we have to make ourselves available. Okay, we need to make ourselves available when the opportunity comes, because the opportunity will come. Like last year, there are all these annotation platform, this AI lab. They are not there. None of them. And I was even begging people to join some of my students. I'm not begging anybody to join these days, because if you want to join, because the market is fully ripe for those who want to. You know, a lot of people are making money. Secondly, I have some people here who are based in UK. They get these jobs in UK because they're some company they don't want. They sublet people in Africa to help them do the job. They subcontract it. They are now working here like contractors. They get the job, they subcontract. And I believe more data lab, AI data lab, are going to open up for Nigerians. Like I said, this AI training is phase by phase. That they are not in Nigeria today doesn't mean they are not going to be in Nigeria tomorrow. Tomorrow they might open up. Like I told you, they contacted me to help them collect data in London. Okay, if I get this job, I have a lot of people in Spain now who I can give the job, but they cannot do the job because they didn't specify Lagos. They didn't say they want data from Lagos. These people, the model they are working on now, they are at the moment training on data from United Kingdom. Are you getting my point? When they finish training or collecting data from United Kingdom, they might move to Africa. They might start collecting data from Lagos. They might start collecting data from Abuja. They might start data from Accra, Johannesburg, you know, different towns, different cities, different countries. So, but if you don't get ready, you will just hear that some people are working. You will think is some people will be making money. So that's why we have to put all our effort to make ourselves ready. And outside that, there is still job, already made job for us. Now, as annotators, if you are not getting it as a annotator, you get as a trainer, you get as an evaluator. So that's why I'm breaking it down. As I'm teaching, I'm identifying revenue points. I'm very interested in revenue points. You know, now I've worked there in local government to try to look at where does money come in. So when we are looking at any model, I will look at different revenue points. I've identified 4 different revenue points in this data annotation and evaluation book. This thing. 1 as a data collector, 2 as an annotator, 3 as a trainer, 4 as an evaluator. 4 areas. The one we are doing here in for OpenAI, which I showed you using, is for evaluation. We're not doing the training. We didn't do the labeling. People did the labeling. People did the training. We're doing evaluation. Only evaluation, they are paying $50 an hour. Just evaluate. And you're sitting on, and that's it. You can do it from anywhere. So that is it. It's opening up. If you look at conventional jobs, they are beginning to contrast gradually. And these labs is expanding, AI labs, different labs. Last year we didn't have any, now we have up to 20 labs paying seriously. Young students here in the UK, they don't do any other thing. All they are looking for this AI lab job. Because they'll be in their hostels and be doing the job. They don't even need to go and work in McDonald's anymore. They don't need to go and work in KFC anymore. You know, they don't need to go and do kitchen porter to wash plates in restaurant to make, making a lot of money. Yeah, the jobs are there. The first thing, don't be so fast about, you know, the problem we're having is being too fast to get this job without equipping ourselves. You go to the market will hit you down. It's just like you trying to go to work without proper training, proper armory. You get you down and you become coward. Next time you hear what, you run away. It's because you are not trained. You are not equipped. So equip yourself. Once you equip yourself, you go to the market. You see there are so many opportunities in markets. Build your CV, build your portfolio the way it's supposed to be. All these labs will be contacting you because now some of all these platforms behind closed doors, they are deploying AI to scan portfolios, scan our account, our profile. in some of these labs, you need to apply for jobs. All this AI lab, all you need to do, pass their test. You know, they have interviews. The interviews they are doing, they use AI to interview you. It's no longer, you're not seeing anybody. It's everything is AI. AI will interview you and you do the interview. After you pass the interview, that is it. You have access to their portal. From there, you can be applying to any kind of job. But once you pass and you have good portfolio, you find out that you don't even need to apply. They will matchmake you to work. They will give you a job even without you applying for a job. A lot of jobs will come into you. So, number one is to build this portfolio. Anything we can do, we'll build it, is extremely important. Any small knowledge, try to convert it into a portfolio. Like this assignment I give you is a small portfolio. It's a very tiny small portfolio, because if you do this very well, and during the interview, you can within your explain these packages, or you can put it in your CV. You can put it in Upwork, even as we are starting. Do this, deploy it. Yeah, that's how you get job. It's not nobody's going to. It's not about helping you. You can do it. We are teaching you to be self-sufficient. How many people am I going to be getting job for? Yeah, but once you know it, you don't need anybody to help you to get a job, but there are jobs there. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
Well, how many people am I going? Do you know how many people I've trained? Everybody is coming for me to help them get a job. I'm not teaching people to help them get a job. I'm teaching people to become self-made millionaires in pounds and dollars. That is the purpose. If you remember me tomorrow, you know we teachers, you will know we always have money, we always serve as poor people. You know, if you remember me as a student, as their teacher, good and fine. If you don't remember me,
we will definitely remember you. We will definitely remember you.
Our reward is no longer. We want our reward both on heaven and on earth.
Yes.
Yeah. So, based on what we deploy today, you should know that your future is bright in this career path. So, if you've been scared, you don't need to. You know, because of my.
Thank you, sir. Please, I have an appeal to make. If you.
Yeah, go on.
For us to see.
What? I can't hear what you said.
I say I'm making an appeal, sir, concerning the fonts. But the font you're using there shows the 11. If you can increase it a bit, because at times it's too tiny for us to see.
Okay, no problems. I try to increase it. I'll try to change the resolution of my monitor.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, so thank you, everyone, for those who stayed. It's important we give maximum commitment to this, because I don't want to be wasting my time. I want to see people making money. I don't want to become here to be. If this year there's something, if I give after this year and there's no high record of success stories, I know what we are doing is enough to get us success stories. But if I don't get the kind of success stories I get from you people, I will shut down this platform and focus on my other businesses. Yeah, because I don't want to waste my time unnecessarily. I don't want to do something I'm not impacting. I want results. So I have other businesses. I'm a serial entrepreneur. This one is just a tiny one in what I'm building, but I need results. If I don't see results, I'll go back to other. So you people need to put in effort. Yeah, because what I teach, if I want me to teach in others, you are going to be making references about what people are doing. Like here, you are happy when I talk about the NACA, when I talk other people who are really making the waves. So you are happy, but you don't want your name to be called like that. So,
Who will make you proud, sir?
We'll make you proud. Huh?
so I know